Hey everybody, how's it going?
Hey guys, welcome back, Fooksters. I can't believe we're doing
Yep.
season 2 already. And I
Yeah,
think with
episode
is
23?
this the third episode, Roberto?
Yep, third one. Episode 23 right now.
So I have to be more we have to be more conscientious about these episodes. I think we kind of have like 15 fans now, right? We just talked about this
Yes,
right
about.
before the show. And we have a dedication. We just tripled our fan base from
Yes,
5 people
we
to,
love you
to
and appreciate
15.
you. Don't leave.
Yeah, so we month to month we tripled our fan base, and I think we actually might do better, Roberto, because
Ooh.
again, this show, just those who are signing it right now, this is a weird show. What the Phuc? What kind of show is this? It's a reality show about startups and life and weird things. Like today, we're going to talk about UFOs and aliens, and spirituality and the afterlife and all these things, based on real science, the science that I'm doing at Foodlabs, as well as my past endeavors and startups and so on. And so we actually are, both of us, in the middle of starting 2 companies. Mass Realty is Roberto and I
Yep.
actually working on that together, with Roberto doing a lot of the content, and I'm helping mostly with advice, and him and his wife are doing most of the bootstrapping work. And I'm doing some of the tech stuff behind the scenes as well, which is hopefully, super simple. And I can actually show you guys on another show where the tech stack itself is so sweet. I just got off of a big hackathon, man. I'm very proud. I still got the skills. I got the skills.
What'd you
The coding skills. I busted out. Here's what happened. So the other startup we're following, as you know, the super fans, or the 15 people who are here, is Foodlabs. And so Foodlabs, this is June. I think what day is this? May 30th.
do? Yeah.
So this is close to, I think, 20 months, something like that, into the project. So July was when I had the idea. I would say October was when we really kind of really took it seriously. So I would say October, November, December. I guess it's like almost 20 months, right? It's 20 months, right? Let's just say
Yeah,
20
about.
months into it. So 20 months into it, this is the hero. I had this idea on my porch, literally. I was starting a company called Mass Realty with Roberto's wife, actually, Magali, and some other folks. And then basically, this idea trumped the Mass Realty idea, because this idea was very transformative for humanity. Because I felt like we invented the transistor for water. And the transistor for water is one of the most weirdest things to hear, but we actually can see a block of water and then move that block of water using AI. We can see what's in that water, detect what's in that water. Let's say my fingertip, my pinky finger, about, let's say, a foot long. Wide as my pinky finger. Let's say that becomes a pixel in reality,
Okay.
and some water we can extract. What happens when we move it left to right? And that's where the idea was. And then we started actually in sewage. We went to a sewage plant. We tried this device. We built it. I actually built it with a team here at Foodlabs, a very
Yeah.
strong, amazing team that I'm really happy I'm working with, because these guys are amazing engineers. This is the best team I've ever put together. Business, hardware, software. And I'm actually taking software into my own hands, because basically we're at crunch time. And at crunch time, you have to make things happen. And so here's what happened. So long story short, we went through this exercise of trying to figure out how to make money with this. So we invented something new, and something amazing, where we can sort, basically a universal sorting machine, where water is a conveyor belt, and the packages are the things we can extract from it. So the question to you, Roberto, is when you come up with an idea like this, where you can get a universal sorting tool, where anything in water is a package, and you can remove the packages and make money and help humanity, what would you do? What packages would you grab?
Well, so many things to go for. I mean, like, just like ocean-wise, like cleaning up the water, the rivers, like everything is water. Like all the important stuff that comes from the water, like you need or needs water. So you clean up the rivers, clean up the oceans, clean up maybe just your tap water.
Right.
Everything.
So this is the enthusiastic idea. So this is also a show about startups, and basically the idea is, our mission is, we believe that genius is everywhere, but opportunity is not. And so
Yep.
maybe by sharing our story and our know-how and how to think about running businesses throughout the world, we can teach these lessons to those who are willing to listen and who want to learn, and,
Yep.
and perhaps copy
Yeah,
our
definitely.
success and do something great for humanity. So the idea is when you always think you have to always think about is you're always enthusiastic as an entrepreneur. You always think you have the best idea. The earth revolves around you and your idea.
Yeah, no,
But
definitely.
what you need to do is, check that in reality. So the reality check is very important. And this reality check is like saying, hey, do I look good in my suit because I'm going to the prom? Do I want to make sure I dress well so I make a good impression and I have a good time at the prom and feel comfortable and not too sweaty and all that stuff and have a balanced approach to it? So going out to the market, trying to figure out what people are willing to buy based on your idea, it's the most important thing to do at the beginning. Because a lot of entrepreneurs, they always think, hey, let me build something. I'm sure if it's a really good quality product, people will come. Right?
Yeah, no, you
It's
have to supply a need.
If I bake really good cookies, I have really good music, and I basically, have a good invite list and all that stuff, all the friends at high school will come to my party, and you throw the party and no one shows up. That's a lot of work, man. That's a lot of time.
It is.
It's pretty embarrassing. So
It's
what you want to
really
do is you want to vet it, right?
Yeah.
And so we've been vetting it. So we tried sewage water, and then we tried batteries, and we pivoted once from sewage because sewage was something that wasn't worth anything. It was basically poop, right? So why would you want to grab things out of sewage? But maybe down the road we can help. But it also had a lot of product risk. You had to do a lot of volume, 1 million gallons a day, something like that. Super high volume for the entire town of whatever, or large volumes of water. And of course we can do this, and we can do this at some point. But also who would pay for it, and when, and how, and all that stuff. There's a lot of open question marks. As you
I feel like what about the government? Like,
what about the government?
Yeah, like it's their job.
So think of these like doors.
Mm-hmm.
Think of these like doors. And these doors are possible future paths you can take. I can go down this door and do this. Go down this door and do this. Go down this door and what? You know what? There's so many doors. Which door should you go down? That's the question. What's the approach you should take, and what door should you walk down? So what do you think is the best advice, you think? What door should you open in front of you?
Like right now, with a brand new product?
With anything, with an idea, with life.
I like if you have a door of if there's a door of discipline or like one that is like, okay, which one can get me the furthest? You have to go with that one. Or like funding. The funding door would be a very good one.
Okay. Actually, you know what? I said this in the previous episode.
Mm-hmm.
I used to think like you, Roberto. I used to think like you. And I got really, really good. And that was the breakthrough for me. That's a trick question.
Ooh.
It's not the doors in front of you that matter. It's the last door you want to get through. So where do you want to be is the question. Not where's what's in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine this technology. Well, what do you want to do with it? You want to be wealthy, right? You make a lot of money with it immediately so you can fund future growth and make this something that actually lives. So you got to make something that's sustainable as a company. You got to make money. You got to make money quickly, right? What else do you need, you think? What door would you want to open long run? Like, let's say you imagine this technology 10 years from now or 20 years from now. Imagine where would it be? Like, what would you be doing? What would be the characteristic of the success? I would say, well, you would have to have a lot of people want to buy it, right?
Yeah,
So
I feel like that comes after. Though. I mean, like you still have like we talked in the other episodes about like picking your team right.
Yeah,
who's
you have to have a really good engineering team.
Yep.
To build this. Okay.
Yeah.
And then what else would you have to do?
Market it properly. Like try to like
right. Figure a way to sell this, right?
Yeah.
Or if don't sell it, then how do you make money? Maybe you can make your own production facilities or something like that, and make your own widgets, make your own factory or manufacturing, whatever it is. You have to think, okay, what's the end goal? Do you want to sell things to people, or do you want to do things for yourself? Do you want to be your own customer? Do you want to go, for example, and mine materials yourself? Or do you want to build picks and shovels for other people? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So imagine yourself in the future, whatever it is in your enterprise, and then all of a sudden those doors close. Those doors in front of you suddenly close. many of them closed immediately. So, for example, we went down the door of let's go ahead and have customers. We went down that door, but we realized that the end door we wanted to end up being at wanted to do it ourselves. We don't want to have customers because customers cost money to maintain. You have to actually have a sales team to get the customers. And you have to basically sell the customers over time, so you're constrained by the decision of someone else, a third party. So your time is something that you don't control either, because you have to sell based on the decision of someone else. You might be ready to launch the product in the facility, but maybe they're not ready yet. And they have to wait like till finance says yes, and they have to do some security and some other stuff, and it takes a year later, and like, wow, that wasn't what we expected.
All the red tape,
right?
all the red tape.
Okay, so we went down that path for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But we were going to be someone else's picks and shovels because we're like, well, that's the easiest way to make money. Because that's, instead of doing something yourself, help somebody else do something who has money, and then they can give you the money, and then you can go ahead and use that money to go ahead and grow and do your own stuff. And so we actually did that with some projects. So we got a mining project where we have a global top 5 global mining company hiring us to do some consulting stuff.
Okay.
To basically help them with a project, and we're getting paid a lot of money for that, like $500,000, like close to $500,000, right? Something like that. It's amazing. It's amazing. We're getting paid to do something, but then that door was just a partially opening that door, just to refuel, and get some information and help someone, and just start to do something that's actually substantial at the beginning really quickly. Be part of something greater.
Yeah.
Be a cog in a machine. Because the machine exists already. Just go ahead and join that machine immediately. Get some information, help somebody, get paid, right? Do something with it.
Well, like it's a temporary place. It's a temporary spot.
Right. So you have to balance long run, the final doors you want to open, with what keeps you alive. But what also you're going to have to do anyway. You're going to have to solve XYZ problems, and by working for someone else and having a customer, maybe that customer, whether you have customers in the end or do it yourself, that customer will inform you about what their needs are, and you can actually learn a little bit quicker. And you can skip a couple of levels, because maybe they don't do what you do, but they do something similar that you can maybe copy and see what you can do with and improve upon.
Yeah,
so start from third base,
it's a learning curve.
First
for sure. Like there's always something to learn from somebody that's bigger than you, or like want to get where they are.
Exactly. But it doesn't even have to be them. It could be like, what's your ideal lifestyle? My ideal lifestyle is we would use this advice to help humanity.
Yeah.
Right? And so to help humanity must want it. They must embrace it, and they must want to buy it, and we must tell humanity about it so they can help us. Right?
Yes. Inform the public.
So if you want to help humanity, don't you want humanity to know about it and humanity to help you?
Yes, definitely. Like,
so
I'm here for you.
So that's the expense that we've spent. So we actually spent quite a substantial amount of money, like 6 figures, on a PR person for next year, and this person, and also some marketing expenses and stuff like that. But we are not going to do classic marketing because we want to do direct marketing if we can, and try to sell our hope and our inspiration to the crowd, but also have them participate. Because now, again, Foodlabs, we had gone to sewage. We figured out, hey, that's not going to make us a ton of money. We'll do that later. Let's put that in the little ice box. We call it the ice box in tech. Ice box is something you bring out later. You freeze it in your mind and you just put it there. Bring it out, thaw it out later, and maybe think about it later. But right now, just put it in the ice box. Let's try batteries. And then we went through this accelerator called Urban X. You guys saw us go through that accelerator. You saw the videos we produced. We learned how to pitch. We learned how to make money in battery recycling. But then, instead of the happy ending, we had a hard time closing the round because the VCs loved us. They loved the product. They just didn't love battery recycling as we thought they would, because it was too early.
They didn't like the market.
Yeah, because they say, okay, that's great. Batteries are awesome, but yeah, I know you're going to recycle in a couple of years, but we got to do that right now. So then, we basically, I guess we ended the program around February. We were hoping to have the money in March, April, and now it's May. So we're running out of money, but guess what, guys? Guess what? Booyah. I'm a millionaire. So I'm just gonna cut a check to cover the difference for like the month we need to go to Republic. Okay?
Yes.
And then we're gonna pivot, and then we're gonna go directly to the people, humanity, and we're gonna say, okay, humanity, we have this device. Let's cut out all the fat. Let's cut out all the stuff that doesn't matter. Let's cut out customers. Let's cut out sales. What does the final product look like? It looks like a blender where you put a phone, a laptop, a battery, anything.
Yeah, whatever
That's
tech.
electronics or
Yeah.
anything that's particles, anything like that. And then one day, hopefully in the next few months or a few weeks, actually probably this next week or so, for some stuff, right? We can basically, on the other side, sort it into the purest as we can, 90% plus, 80% plus, whatever the requirement,
Mm-hmm.
and then provide something of value to humanity in terms of raw commodities that now can go into a factory like Elon Musk's factory, and build a Tesla car, or GM to build their car, or Volkswagen, or anyone to build a phone, to build a computer. These are just raw metals, copper, aluminum, gold, whatever. And we basically have a golden goose. This golden goose lays eggs, and all we have to do is feed it. That's basically the plan. So again, those doors that were open at the beginning, so many doors, sell to this, sell to that, sell to that. And then we realized the final door we wanted to go through was just be able to buy something for $1, use our device, which costs very, very little to actually sort things, a few cents. And sell it for more than $1. Sell it for like $1.50, $1.20, $2 hopefully.
Yeah, we
The
get
more
profit.
we could sell it for, the more value we could create out of it, the better. But that would never have existed without our technology. Because the alternative is to do smelting or membranes or something that uses matter and energy. Matter and energy, a membrane, something physical that requires head loss when you push water through it and it
Yep.
gets clogged and humans have to interact with it. All that, throw it away. It's a different paradigm. That's analog.
Yeah, no,
Analog.
definitely, and it's awesome because you end up getting rid of some byproducts that were just there and were a hassle to everybody, but that's the way it was. So like, it is what it is.
But
Not-
not
not
that.
anymore.
It's digital.
Yeah.
Roberto. What can you do with digital? You can sort more than one thing.
Yeah,
You can say gold go here,
yeah,
copper go there, plastic go there,
yeah.
poisons go there.
Gives you more options and about everything. Like with that membrane, like it was everything was going to the same place, and that's it.
Portable. Yeah, our system is portable. It doesn't
Yep.
need a huge factory. And guess what? We're going to do it in a couple places at the beginning. We're going to do it in the factory that we partner with, because those factories instantly make more money with us
Yeah,
because they already
yeah.
have these materials ready for us to basically recycle. And then we give them more additional revenue. And then, boom, the game is simpler. There's only 3 doors you have to open, right, to get to that final door. Right. The first door is you have to make sure the software works. The software works, guys. Not only does it work, but we have some huge breakthroughs that we recently perfected that I know that our system's going to work 10, 100 times better than any other competitor. Anyone that's out there computer vision wise, we blow the socks off of what they do, including Tesla. If
Nice.
Tesla knew what we're doing, holy shit. they creamed their pants. But anyway, we might open source some of it later, but we're gonna take it a little bit easy there, and get some money, get going there. But we have some stuff that's blows the chart. I can't believe that we're doing some of this stuff. It's mind blowing. Some of the innovations we're doing. It's just, I think for some reason I have a natural talent in computer science, and it's like magic for me. It's like I'm a natural mage or magician or wizard. I pick up a wand, I immediately know how to use it. I like 2 years ago, computer science, if you think of AI as a genie, I rubbed the lamp for the genie, and I just made best friends with the genie. And the genie and I have been talking about how to work together, how to make it better, and my genie is going to kick every genie's ass. That's what I mean. Because I've been training the genie, and I've been teaching the genie new tricks that all these other genies would not know how to do. And our genie, basically the demon, the Maxwell's demon, the daemon that controls the device, essentially the AI that controls the device. The AI that we have is going to be so far superior. So number one door is make sure the software is tight. So I got that. I'm good, and that's why I'm personally doing it, just to make sure it's super tight, because it's really fun and amazing. Because I'm writing some amazing things that really inspire me, like, and hopefully we'll be able to use it for the good of humanity, not just for this project, but this whole framework I can share with you guys. Some of the stuff I've been doing, because this thing that used to take a whole team and 10 people and 3 people, wherever it was, 5 people, like a year or so, I'm just doing it with like myself or like myself and like an intern. That's it, literally. And then maybe some small work on subsections for like, harder parts for like, computer vision and stuff. So basically the team is me and 2 other people. That's it. A consultant and an intern. So that's basically, and this intern barely knows coding. I'm not teaching him from scratch. So he's doing great. And basically the idea is that's one door. And the second door is hardware. So we have 6 engineers on the hardware team, just kicking ass, creating this system that we can make a video of. We're going to put this on Republic. So Republic is a platform where regular people like you, the audience, the 15 people, can cut checks into Foodlabs and benefit. So we are going to raise money. We're going to raise $3 million at some point, right? But at this point, we're going to do $1 million right now. $1 million at Republic at a $50 million valuation, because we have some other investors that might want to come in. So we want to leave a little bit of room. But if these investors decide not to come in, then we'll go ahead and do the $3 million Republic. So we're going to do $1 million Republic at a really good valuation where you guys could basically get ground level. This is the first seed.
I think that's awesome, man. Like this, right. like you said at the beginning, like the VCs and all these other people you went to knocking at the doors, like at the beginning, they're like, oh yeah, there's no market for that. But it's still an amazing product. I mean, like that the public would want it. Like you need clean water in your life. And in your kids' lives. And then
we just dumb it down. Dude. Here's what we do.
Yeah, no, but like what I'm telling you is that it doesn't matter. Like sometimes, like the idea of regardless of what you're making, if it's not profitable, like these VCs or people won't do it. But while you're going to Republic and all these like more natural and more like down to earth people and actually like with the people, it's a great idea. So they will back you up, because regardless of the profits or anything anybody's making, it's the idea itself that will give you like longevity and everything, and give every one of us this like chance at better chance at survival overall. How do you not want to clean the How do you not want to clean the oceans and the water and at some point, if you're going through anything that's liquids, like I don't know, like if you have like some sort of cancer or whatever, like you have like leukemia or something, I can clean your blood. Like I'm guessing like it could be like projected to all these places.
Yeah, but out of fairness, this is probably the worst time to be fundraising right now, because the whole economy is tanking. So at the beginning of this Urban X, it was actually a good time, and then around February, when we actually ended the program and started out fundraising, the whole market tanked. So the whole timing, that door closed pretty quickly. But even if it wasn't like that, I don't think you're right. I think it's too early, because they want to make sure you have money that you're making and the deployed product, and we didn't have that. And we need someone like who can believe in the vision. So at this point, there are 3 pillars of any company. There's the team, right? The product traction, so where you are actually, and then the vision of where you're going to be, right? So the reality was we're about to deploy and actually make money, and we're still trying to figure out, and we just figured it out actually finally, because we actually heard from the truth. The truth is, battery wasn't a good idea. Maybe we should do something that we can do right now, which is e-waste. We can do that right now. We can do batteries as part of e-waste, as it grows as a segment. But let's not narrow ourselves to that. But also let's not narrow ourselves to customers. Let's go ahead and just buy the product, shred it ourselves if we need to, or hopefully buy shredded, and then process it, and just feed the goose. Okay. And have the golden goose lay eggs for a while.
Yeah.
And then
so you become like your own big, massive thing that would be like self-sustaining.
Yeah, because I thought about it. If we have a golden goose, what the hell are we trying to pimp out our goose for? Saying, this is my goose. What to lay eggs for me? Lay eggs for me. Why would I lay eggs for me?
Exactly.
Don't lay eggs for strangers. Come on.
It's very true.
So maybe one stranger, just so I can get some money to get you some food, so I could feed you. So that's the idea. You have a golden goose. You found this golden goose that lays eggs, but you need to feed it. You don't have enough money yet, so you go get a project to get money, to have this goose lay eggs for someone for a little bit, help them with some device, and then maybe they can help, lay eggs for them over there, for that type of egg for them.
Yeah.
And then we'll worry about our own eggs and our own, what we want to do on our side. But then we basically have enough money to feed the goose. And now we need help.
There's a baseline
from Republic to also keep this going, keep the farm going. So we can basically make this golden goose something that is going to maybe lay more eggs to help humanity. I don't know what it could be, but this is where we are right now. It's really exciting, actually. I'm kind of having a lot of fun.
Yeah, I know. It's been like the whole process has been very crazy and interesting at the same time.
No, there's only one reason I'm having fun, man.
Why?
You know how when people say money doesn't buy happiness?
That's a lie.
That's a freaking lie. Because if this X number of money, okay, you have 1 to 2 months of money in the bank for your company. And you're like, I'm just gonna go beg some investors and plead and cry and stress out, or I just gotta cut a check.
Yeah, there you go. Like, no, okay,
solved.
That's it.
I got a check. You know what? I believe in myself, and by the way, I got more money where it comes from. I got some more because I earned it. I did a really good thing. This is my second business.
Yeah.
So Republic folks, I got a really good substantial business in clinical research IO. Clinical research.
Yeah. You can check out the other videos and everything. Find out more about it.
I founded it. I coded the entire product pretty much with a very small core team, and then that company I'm very proud, processes over 1,000 research sites across the U.S. and 30% of all U.S. clinical research goes through our system.
Yeah, but like it's something that people need to understand, though. It's that it's not. This just didn't stumble upon you. Like it was seeds that you planted a while ago.
The show. Remember when we said, "Hey, I'm gonna call the shot."
Yeah.
Like a year ago when we did this, how many episodes ago? Like 30 episodes. Like this is we have nothing, then we have something, and then now we have nothing again.
I mean, I feel like all of a sudden
I was there last year, man. I'm cool because I had nothing all my life.
Like, man,
I got more than nothing now.
Yeah. It's been a process. I mean, like sometimes people are like, they just fell into money. Like no, like getting a company to function and to work. Like how long ago did you code this stuff?
Like Clinical Research IO.
Yep.
I was basically like a Buddhist priest, just like basically doing my meditation, writing my code for 4 years, from 2016 to 2020.
Okay. See?
I basically sat there at least 8 to 10 hours a day, just coding my ass off, and
that's a ton of work. Like it's a
guess what? I've been doing that here too.
Yeah.
And I realized how good I am after
a ton of work
years.
For 4 years.
It's like a karate
in 2016.
kid, you wax on, wax off. I did so much waxing on, waxing off. I'm like master. You can't hit me. I'm just gonna block you, man. But anything new, I'm like, oh yeah, that's easy. I'll figure that out in 10 minutes. Like, no, you can't. I was like, yeah, I can. It's like you can't just teach yourself AI. I was like, yeah, I can, and I did. And then you know what? I'm probably top 1% of AI now.
Exactly. Like, no, you can.
Yeah, it's like saying, Aretha Franklin, can you sing this song? He's like, yeah, I can sing it. He's like, no, you gotta practice. No, I can sing it.
Like,
Don't worry, I'm Aretha Franklin.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Is this a soul song?
But it's a hard song. It's a hard song for you.
Is it gospel-based, one of those songs? I got. Don't worry.
It's fine.
Is it JavaScript? Is this Python? I just taught myself Python, and I'm a master because I knew Perl and Java and JavaScript.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, do I know French? Sure, I can learn Spanish and Russian and whatever.
It's fine.
I speak 15 languages.
Yeah, I know. Some people just pick it up, but it does involve a ton of work though. So just for everybody else, it sounds like it's like exactly. So it's like there is an effort put in here. It's not like it just didn't just happen from all of a sudden. Like you put in the effort, you put in the work, and right now it's man, you're picking up everything. All those seeds you planted are finally coming to fruition.
Yeah, actually, this guy, he actually said really well, Naval.
Okay.
Right? The Naval podcast. You want to listen to that one. So Naval said that there's something called specific knowledge that you carry with you. So specific knowledge is when you know something because you've done it before. Experience.
Mm-hmm.
He's saying experience. Once you have experience, when I go into a bar, I know exactly what girls to avoid, what girls to talk to, because I've experienced at a bar. But same thing with coding. I go into the coding situation, a coding bar. I know exactly what libraries to use and what libraries not to use. It's kind of like you have experience and you just know what go to. It's like, I'm going to go with the shot. I'm going to go with this karaoke song. And I'm going to go bust out the night with a karaoke song where the girl's going to like it because that's how my go-to routine to grab attention at the bar and do something. I'm not saying I do that. I don't do that at all. By the way. Very shy.
Man, I can't
But
even
I'm
remember
giving you
last time I was
an
in the karaoke.
Yeah, because these examples are just kind of like out there. But the idea is you have to have confidence also, because that's why I gave you that example. Because if you don't have confidence, then you won't know your stuff.
But you have to know yourself and know your strengths. So I mean, like, and that does come with time. Like, you practice, felt like, oh, turns out I suck at this, or turns out I'm amazing at this thing.
It's different from what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when you have confidence, that's not because you're arrogant. There's two types of confidence, Roberto, right?
Yep.
In my mind, as a profession.
Mm-hmm.
So there's confidence because you're just a prick. You think you're the second coming of Jesus, and you're so amazing. Everyone should love you because you're confident. Or you're confident because you've done that a billion times.
Yeah, and you can back up like this confidence. Like, it's just knowledge.
It's like Michael Jordan saying, "Hey, can you hit that free throw?" I was like, "What are you talking about, Michael Jordan?"
Mm-hmm.
She's like, practice? You talk about practice? Remember, there's this basketball player. He like some reporter asked him about practice. Like, you think I need practice? I don't need practice. I shot 1 billion free throws. Yeah, I can hit a free throw. So if you want to bet on a free throw,
awesome.
My shot is 99%, whatever it is, So the idea is confidence. Sometimes other people from the other point of view looking at you like, oh, this person's such a prick.
Yeah.
But if you've been doing it for a long time and you know what you're talking about,
yes,
you kind of sound like that, but you're just confident.
And it's usually like the people that look at you like that are the ones that don't know enough about what it is you're doing. So they just like judge you straight up on that. Like, when you start to understand what it is that you do, and how good, and understand the scope of the things that you can actually do, are the ones that appreciate your work. Like this thing, yeah.
Yeah, or like, I think what people have to understand is understanding, maybe, is a better word. I have understanding of how to grow things, how to run teams, how to write code, how to put things together. I have an understanding of how to cast spells, to write code so that it works immaculately, because I've cast so many spells. I have an understanding of the nuances of casting spells. And so if you use those words, then you say, I have confidence in myself as a magician to cast these spells in such a way that my magic will work every time.
Yeah, and there's
then I wouldn't
for
cast
the
a
other
spell,
people, like,
this is very dangerous stuff.
Yeah. For the other people, I mean, like, you need to know a little bit to know how little you know.
Yeah, but dangerous not for me, but dangerous for the customer using it and having it not work.
Yeah.
Dangerous for someone buying something that's duct tape coding, and kind of works for a little bit and then kind of breaks down after you scale for a little bit. So it's dangerous in a different way. But like, if you're a professional and you write quality code and you have confidence in yourself, what happens is then you have a broom that you always use. So this is the other Naval podcast thing he brought, which is, you have specific knowledge, but you actually have assets, tangible assets in terms of code that is leverageable in such a way instantly, whereas everything else is not leverageable instantly. For example, let's say I'm a chemist.
Okay.
And I have done a lot of lab experiments before. I can't just say, hey, tomorrow I want to continue at that lab experiment where I left off 5 years ago. Okay. Literally today, I took my code from 5 years ago and I copy pasted some of it and I used some of it immediately. So I opened the lab, I went to my lab, grabbed something I needed, exited the lab, moved it over to a new lab, installed it in a new lab, and closed the old lab by opening a few files and closing some few files. Because the lab in spells is a spell book. I'm moving from this spell book to this spell. I cast this spell, but to cast this spell, I must summon this dragon, and this dragon must have this color, and this color must have this. They must breathe a certain fire, and there's a certain number of sequence of casting a dragon to come into life. And where would the dragon appear? In front of you, to the left, and how big is the dragon? All these instructions that you have to cast spells, and you cast them in your head. If you're really good, like a good magician. And that's what I've been doing. I've been casting these spells in my head. They're called thought experiments. Thought experiments. In terms of physicists, like in terms of Einstein, he calls them thought experiments. But you probably do the same thing too, Roberto. You plan your day in your head. Yeah. And you just kind of imagine how it will work out. And you predict the future.
And if this doesn't happen, then this has to happen this way. And just like, It's an interesting exercise, actually. Even when you...
Yeah, so you imagine the future and it manifests itself by just putting it down on paper. And that's what I've been doing. Sometimes I watch a video of someone doing it. I understand. So that's how you swing this golf swing. So when I go practice, I'm going to swing it a certain way. and I copy someone else's golf swing. Man, I'm really good at that. Maybe I should try some putting tips, and then maybe follow that channel. And now I'm really good at putting, and then you become a fan of that person, and then you learn more and more. And that's actually quite amazing that you can do that today on YouTube.
And it can be a bunch of things.
Everywhere
I mean, like,
today.
I have a friend who has a
Instantly.
whole plan set up if there ever were a zombie apocalypse.
Right. If you had
Anything. You can apply that and just like as a mental exercise. Let's see what would happen if this scenario played out.
But that's what I'm saying. So that's the idea of opening doors in your mind,
Yeah.
closing doors in your mind, having that jigsaw puzzle fit in terms of opening the doors and closing the doors. Find that last door that you want to get through, working backwards. The last 3 doors that actually you had to go through. Again, the last 3 doors for Labs is we had to do the software, which we know works. It's amazing now. The hardware is basically being wrapped up right now. And then we just have to make sure we can buy the materials, which we know we can. And then we can sell for a certain amount, which we know we can. And then plug in the energy meter, which we will. And then measure the energy to make sure our numbers match reality. We know that the energy level. We know that it doesn't cost anything in terms of membrane because there's no membrane to replace, or humans. Right? And so this automated system is going to be a goose that's going to be reality that we can touch and feel, and we can feed the goose, and the goose is going to lay eggs in front of your eyes. And you can plug in how much to feed the goose in terms of energy and materials, add that up, and see if it costs less than how much you can produce in terms of eggs that you lay. Pretty binary.
Yeah,
Pretty
yeah.
cool.
And you need basically you need to have a solid product.
Those are the 3 doors.
Mm-hmm.
Going back to the 3 doors that we had to open. And we also have to make sure that we can keep the farm alive, so we're going to Republic. And so Republic is a crowdsourced funding site that, we need maybe another month or 2 of runway to get through the process. So that's why I'm going to cut this check. And that's fine with me because, I know we're going to clear market because I talked to all these people like you, like my friends. We actually have $1 million already of people ready to cut, like in terms of like cut checks and stuff. Like I think we're gonna clear pretty easily. I mean, I think it's gonna be one of those things where like I'm just gonna go and talk to people that know me and the people that know us, but also show them the goose and say, you want to touch the goose? You want to come to the lab and feed it? Feed the goose and then see it in action.
You can pet the
actually
goose.
pet it. You can actually rub, the eggs that lays and smell that copper, smell that nasty whatever byproduct that you want to get rid of because that's going to be 2 buckets of separate sorted stuff that we can do. And you can see in front of your eyes, it works. And guess what? We know it costs this much and we can sell for this much and it's going to provide this much value for the customer. In terms of the people who buy the materials, it's just raw materials, it's just copper, it's aluminum, it all looks the same. Whether they buy from us or from somewhere else, we just go in the open market and just sell it. It's a certain price per pound. We find the buyer.
Exactly.
It's a certain price we could buy from. And guess what? Now we have a universal money printing machine.
There you go.
That's the investment, guys.
So
I'm
the pitch.
pretty confident.
Yeah.
Pretty confident. The 3 doors, software, done.
They're solid.
Hardware,
It's a solid product.
We're almost done. We're integrating some stuff. And then,
It's not far.
we get the business. Took a while, 20 months.
Yeah.
But we're here.
Yeah. I mean, like everything takes time. I feel like nothing is really like an overnight kind of success. Like when it comes to these kind of things, it's not. It takes time. You have to test it. Just like it happens to every big companies and everything. Like at the beginning, oh no, like our phones blow up if you go above this altitude or this pressure. Or like, oh no, it turns out the fan that's not good enough. Like your PlayStation is gonna go on fire. It's all these things that there's a process to perfect the product, and in this case, like you're getting there.
Yeah, and like the 15 fans who are listening to the show, you guys can help us too. You can also invest.
It's
Put
gonna be
$15 into this company. Although there might be a minimum of $100, you might have to put $100 each. So maybe we'll get $1,500 from our fans here. See, so that's a good start, guys. But maybe put a little bit more.
As soon as we're like for sure in Republic, I'll put up the link.
Let me brag a little bit, guys.
Carry on.
Brag a little bit. My company, Clinical Research IO, look it up, guys. We just did a Series B at a really good valuation, $9 million. We raised $9 million round. So far, we raised $18 million total, right? So the company's worth it more than $18 million. Let's say 5x that, right? 5x that. Let's say $100 million. The company's worth at least $100 million. We're making profit, a huge profit actually. It was profitable when I was there, and now we're making 3x. How much when I was there because of COVID, it totally benefited us. And now we're the clear market leader with 30% plus of the market, and the next player has like 1% or less. So we're gonna win that whole market, because everyone else was like, oh, we had 10-12% of the market, and the other person had like 0.5% of the market. And now all of a sudden those people, hey, we gotta buy something now, so let's buy the leader. That's us. That's not taking any risk with the new guy. So they bought all of us. Everyone just started buying us because they need to use it for clinical research remotely during COVID, right? So it's one of those things that I got lucky. Now I got some cash from that. Thank you. And I got some equity left. Thank you. So I'm good. Like, so I can retire if I want to, but I'm not going to, man. Because this is the big one. This is the one that's going to help humanity. It's going to help my kids. It's going to leave a legacy that I would be proud of besides the one I already have. It's going to show people that it wasn't an accident. You know, the first one was nice. This one confirms it. Right? And I have more hits. I'm ready to unlock my potential, because not only am I think really good as an entrepreneur, but I think I have a talent as a physicist and also as a UFO researcher.
Ooh.
So
okay, we're getting into that now.
If we get, because usually we spend the last half of our show on woo stuff, okay? Do you know what happened last week, Roberto?
No, I do
Congress,
not.
the U.S. Congress.
What did they say?
For the first time in 50 years, they had congressional hearings about UFOs. They call UAPs now.
Why?
Unidentified aerial phenomenon. To get rid of the stigma. But also,
I hate when they rebrand things for no reason.
Maybe it's not a spaceship. Maybe it's a living light being. Maybe it's
a flying object.
Yes.
I like the UFO.
So, but basically, they want to make it sound less woo-woo. It's like more like less stigmatized. Refresh. They rebranded it.
I know,
so
these rebranding things.
Disclose it in a way that you won't be embarrassed talking about it.
Yeah, it's not Facebook, it's Meta now. Like, but yeah, it doesn't change what you are. Like, it's still like.
But okay, so those who actually want to know the truth, I've been doing a lot of research, guys.
A lot.
And if you respect, me in terms of like, what my capabilities are in terms of research and knowing what's out there in terms of the science and the papers and understanding it, and synthesizing it and making sense of it, I have basically a thesis that I'd like to run by you, Roberto, of what's going on.
Let's hear it.
Okay. Basically, let's just start at the beginning. Let's start with how I thought about this. So, Roberto, do you think there are aliens out there?
Yes.
If so, do you think they're intelligent?
I'd say yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for those who do not agree with those first two statements, that there are aliens and the aliens are intelligent, this door is not the door that you want to open. So maybe shut off this podcast right now. Bye.
Exactly. Take care. Thank you very much. So now let's carry on with the serious ones.
But let's say you're a man of science. Let's say you're curious. Let's say you just want to see how crazy this guy is. Stay here and I'll give you my thesis. Okay? First of all, let's say there's an alien species. Let's say us. And we evolve over time. The first thing we are going to do is we are going to try to colonize space. And perhaps we might want to colonize other solar systems and other galaxies. The most likely way we're going to do this is not through sending spaceships at light speed and having people lose families, because essentially you disconnect from your family, disconnect from your lifetime. So essentially you can go to an alien planet in the future.
When they were selling some of those like one-way trips to Mars.
Well, I'm just saying going out of the solar system.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So out of the solar system, the only way to really, really do this is to send your sperm instead. Right? The TV shows on Netflix, they even have a show about this where someone would send some sperm along with an android. An android would raise the sperm on another planet and reseed the population. Basically skip from 0 to modern times right now. Go from 0 to modernity right now.
Okay.
Okay? Now, that would involve going at light speed or close to light speed or whatever. Or maybe you can go faster than light speed. It doesn't really matter. But the idea is you are going to colonize the universe immediately, if that's the case. Because if you can travel and send these seeds and have androids raise yourself on other planets, we wouldn't have the dinosaurs here. We just go ahead and colonize this planet, get rid of the dinosaurs, whatever. Maybe there are no dinosaurs. Maybe there's something else here. We colonize it, or maybe we terraform something. But the universe would be full of people who look the same.
Yep.
Pretty much. No variety at all.
Yeah, like minor stuff.
But maybe you do. Maybe you go to another planet and you terraform it. You terraform it, you make it look exactly like your planet, and then you actually, whoever grows up on that planet looks like you.
And I would hate
no matter
that
what
if we get to do
happens, that's a semen, that seed, if it grows up on a different planet, it's going to look different from you because of the gravity, the atmosphere, the environment, the food, the nutrients, all those things. The biology will diverge anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like I don't really like this way of colonization. Like, either.
Sure.
Yeah.
So let's go down the thought experiment some more.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe a better way is, maybe we could put some type of DNA. Some DNA on a comet, on an asteroid, or something that we can hurl across the universe. And just spread this pretty easily, because we just hurl these meteors, they just go randomly. And as long as they escape the solar system and they go into the eco of the galaxy, eventually they just keep going straight. The laws of Newton. Just if you go straight that way, you keep going straight until you hit something. Until you hit something, right?
Yes.
So you just have a bunch of bowling balls and you just throw a bunch of bowling balls or whatever, like,
See how
shotgun
it goes
approach.
on.
Spray all your sperm throughout the universe through meteorites and comets. You hit something like a Mars. You hit something like a Venus. You hit like an Earth. You hit like all these different planets in our solar system. You might hit other planets. And guess what, dude?
What?
There's mushrooms on Mars.
That's awesome.
There's fungi on Mars. If you guys go and look in YouTube or anywhere and just Google fungi on Mars, you will find that the Mars land rover has been running over these fungi and they grow back the next day. And the Perseverance rover mission, the mission is supposed to grab that stuff, send it to space, have another ship intercept that, bring it back to Earth, and then test it. But why, man? Why so important a mission like that? Make sure it doesn't get contaminated by humans, all that stuff. Because we prove that basically these comets hit Mars and Earth and everything, and this theory is called Panspermia. Panspermia is a theory where basically what we just spoke about, that the sperm of the galaxy and the universe are these meteors and comets that go around with fungi and DNA on it. And the fungi are the DNA that basically seed all planets. And we look like each other, but not quite. Not quite. Because it's like a sperm. It needs a host. The host is Gaia. Gaia is alive. It's a living planet. And it's an egg waiting to be inseminated by mushrooms. Because whenever a dinosaur is made extinct because some comet hit it and destroyed the entire planet, guess what comes back, man? What brings everything back?
It's all the plants. All the vegetation.
Mushrooms.
Yeah.
No, not plants. Mushrooms. Plants don't exist on Mars. They don't, man. There's no atmosphere, but fungi, they do. Fungi are hardy. They're the most hardy creature in the universe because they can burrow through anything. They're the universal dwarves. They're the miners of the universe. Because the way they grow at a time scale so different from everything else. Like they can just slowly grow and grind and grind and grind and grind until you get all the minerals that it needs down below the surface. Within the egg. Sucking on that yellow part of the yolk. Sucking on the energy of Gaia. Evolving. evolving into a new type of consciousness. Okay? Because the egg by itself in a woman is not conscious. The planet itself is not conscious. It's like Venus. It's just a dead piece of rock. It's an egg ready to be inseminated. You need a sperm. But once you have that sperm, then you have magic. Then you have magic. You have evolution. You have the ability for these mushrooms to burrow and grab nutrients from the middle, suck on the nipple and the teat of Gaia, all the nutrients from the soil and everything that's underneath, and mix up everything and create chemistries and new abilities for plants, which also evolve eventually. And plants evolve underwater because plants are associated with water first. Because plants can get nutrients directly from the water. Because water not only can carry the plant, it carries nutrients. Like the soil that's in the sand, all the nutrients. It's like grinding it like sandpaper, and basically mixing it to the water, and then having the plants drink it. Oh, the nutrients, amazing. But what happens when the plants go above the water? Where does it drink the nutrients? It can't drink nutrients in the air. The air, there's no nutrients. I need help. Mushrooms infect the plant. The mushrooms go inside the plant and become symbiotic with the plant. The mushrooms give minerals to the plants. The plants get strength from the mushrooms. The mushrooms get strength from the sun, from the power of the plants. And symbiotically, they join. Just like in our body, there are millions of bacteria working together in a universe, an ecosystem that represents us. We're like the earth. We're the earth for these bacteria, these plants, these mushrooms. They infect our planet, our body, in our gut. Bacteria is everywhere. In fact, do you know that your appendix might actually have a use, Roberto? You know what the use of your appendix is?
What is it?
People think that when you get sick, people get antibiotics.
Mm-hmm.
And the antibiotics kill what? Bacteria. But how about the good bacteria? Well, appendix apparently could be the shielding spot of the good bacteria. So then when all the other bacteria is dead, the appendix then re-feeds your body with the good bacteria.
Huh.
So imagine that humans had a nuclear shelter. The nuclear shelter is the appendix.
Yeah, because this is just there.
Yes, that's maybe the evolutionary area where the bacteria can hide in the appendix. And then when everything bad happens outside and all the other bacteria are dead, they can just come out and reseed you with the good bacteria again, because you need the bacteria.
Yeah.
Gaia needs maybe us and plants and trees and animals to make Gaia really, really who she is. But we're the same. We're like a planet to these organisms. It's the same analogy, my friend. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It's interesting.
And so what's going on right now is, let's say you plant these seeds. These seeds become children, become dinosaurs, become humans, become sentient beings that actually aren't really just one being, but it's a collective. A collective humanity can build cities. A collective ants first built cities from plants and mushrooms and the ecosystem. And this is group collective intelligence, where not one ant, but many ants create a society, community. And out comes a new type of intelligence. An intelligence that can actually create things out of singular items and make it into a macro state that represents something new, like a city, or something like a volcano, or like a whatever, in terms of the ant hills or volcanoes, whatever they build.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then you have bees do that. Yeah, bees do that. The bees do that. The bees do that, and they do that in the air. They fly everywhere. They pollinate the flowers. They pollinate the plants. They pollinate everything, and they make the planet more diverse. They make the planet have other animals, like mammals and all that stuff. And then the third and final group, collective intelligence, comes along. And guess who that is? You know who that is?
No idea.
You, man.
We show up. And just
You
take it
show
all.
up and you have spaceships. And your spaceships fly everywhere. And you are able to now procreate the comet and the asteroid. You're able to send the sperm across the universe. And the circle of life has been complete. You are now an adult. You are now able to join the Galactic Federation. You are now going to be disclosed that you have been harvested. That this is a time when humanity will get disclosure, will receive disclosure not only from the aliens, but from the governments that the aliens have been working with. And that's what's going on right now, Roberto.
Okay, I think they're working with people.
What happened when the nuclear bomb happened the first time on our planet was when the adolescence of humanity was broken and we became adults, capable of killing not just ourselves, but other planets. The power of nuclear bomb, the nuclear power, that was the trigger of adulthood, right? It's like puberty. That's when you know, because that's when Gaia first bled the first time. That was the first period, right? The nuclear bomb was meaningful. It signified something. It signified a breach, a chasm that we passed technologically, that we can understand how to do something like that. We unlocked the power of the gods. We unlocked the power of the gods because we changed reality. We took an atom, and at that atomic level, we changed the structure of an atom, and we used basically the power of another universe. We were able to figure out at the quantum level, at the microscopic level, something we can access, we can't touch, we can't feel it. Only with thought, only with intellect, only with technology, only with an adult can you open that pill bottle. You know what I'm saying? The medication pill bottle?
Yeah.
You can't open that medication pill bottle if you're a kid. You can't open that bottle of nuclear power until you reach 1945. Right? 1944. When the first World War II, the nuclear bomb. Hiroshima, right?
Yeah. Then you hit
And
Nagasaki
that is
right
when the
away.
aliens encounter started to rise and rise and rise. And they may have even interacted with the government. Apparently, Eisenhower made a pact with them. Eisenhower, the governments of Canada, Israel, probably Russia, China. Some people know, some people, because guess what? The government can't keep a secret, but private enterprise can. Private companies can, like Lockheed Martin. All these other private companies held it secretly. The men in black are real. Trying to reverse engineer the spaceships. Maybe granted to them by the aliens, maybe crash, maybe fake crash to give to the humans. Doesn't matter. That technology has been reverse engineered. And it's been maybe helping humanity. I don't know. But the idea is the disclosure is happening soon. It's already halfway through. Congress is meeting. They're disclosing that aliens may be out there. That there are black cubed spaceships. There's a spaceship that looks like a cube with a force field around it that the Navy has been seeing, flying around their ships. And many people see it with multiple radar sensors and all that. They're getting more data. Everyone's jumping on the bandwagon. The politicians, Marco Rubio, he wants to get elected. This is good for him. Then all these other people are like, oh, that's good. That's a good campaign thing because 99% of the people want disclosure. So let's go ahead and make that part of my legacy. Harry Reid did that. He opened the seal because he was a senator of the United States, and he was very respected. And at the end of his career, he just passed away. He funded the ATIP program, the program that everyone's talking about right now. He funded it with $20-something million to look at aliens, and then they started uncovering new stuff, and now the momentum is there. And NASA is now going to look at UFOs as well. They just announced it. So not only is the U.S. government doing congressional hearings, but they also have a permanent UFO office that's going to investigate it. NASA, if you look at Bill Nelson, the head of NASA, and you look at his interviews, he basically says that aliens are real and we're going to help find it. And guess what? He's seen the briefings. Bill
Okay.
Nelson is actually, I think he was a senator. He was basically in Congress.
Okay.
And he basically, I think he was a senator or something like that. And he basically saw the briefings because he was on the briefings for the alien stuff. So he's seen everything. He knows. And now he's head of NASA. And they're bringing back the fungi.
Okay.
Bringing back the fungi with the DNA. And that's the thing that's going to prove it definitively scientifically.
Let's see how it goes,
Amazing,
huh?
right?
Yeah, no, it is. Great
So I
time.
didn't do anything weird. I didn't say there were aliens flying around spaceships. I'm just giving you high level what logically would happen if you were to procreate the good universe with comets, with mushrooms. This is where you would be. Where now, maybe, now that you have this sperm infect this planet Earth, evolve over millions of years, and actually blew up an atomic bomb to denote that it's ready, you go harvest the civilization and bring it into your community. Right? The baby, when the baby is born, the baby can't communicate with the community at all. It's just going, wah, wah, wah. Babies are crying. They can't communicate. And that's where we were right now. Until the year 2022 and 2023. Then whatever's happening very soon, we were like a baby. We couldn't talk. We couldn't communicate. But now we can talk, we can communicate, we can understand the concepts and start talking with the adults. Because now is going to be the best time to be on Earth, my friend. I think there's going to be heaven on Earth. I think the technology that Star Trek promised us is coming.
That'd be awesome.
I mean, we're building it. That's Foodlabs.
Yeah,
Some of it.
now it's getting there.
And you know, there's other people building amazing things too. But this is the hour. I hope you guys enjoy the show and appreciate, you know, some of the advice and some of the sharing of information. The good
And
times
let us
and the
know
bad
whatever
times.
it is, yeah. Like
But
the comments are right there, so.
I'm telling you. Not only that, but besides the NASA mission and all that stuff to get the fungi from Mars, there's also other missions. And the big one to watch out for, guys, and mark my words, is the James Webb Telescope is starting to actually bring pictures back. People are analyzing the pictures. They've already got a few pictures back. I saw the pictures. They're amazing. It actually was launched successfully. It unfolded successfully. It's actually operational and calibrated successfully. And we're going to find that there's plenty of Earths out there, plenty of planets that can support alien life. And maybe it's going to surprise us because it's going to look at something and it's going to say, holy shit, there are cities on that planet. Holy shit, it's real. We're not the only species that's intelligent. We have cousins out there. Cousins who we can talk to. We can talk to telepathically, maybe, through traveling through quantum technology, which we're just uncovering today. Quantum technology lets us travel faster than the speed of light, which is pretty much what I think is happening. There are cube-shaped spaceships from one of the alien species. Maybe there's other alien species, but they fly using basically their brains, consciousness, to guide the ships. And I believe that they use some type of quantum technology to go faster than light. They can just go instantly left and right.
Yeah,
accelerate.
yeah. Up and
And
down.
basically, almost think of it as like you basically it's like a bubble out of reality.
Yeah.
Bubble out of
Yeah.
reality, and then you just move around, and then however fast you move, where you make a right angle, you go underwater. It's like a force field. It doesn't affect you. It's like Star Trek.
Yeah. I was reading, I was listening to all these other people who actually saw them and how they moved around and everything. It was like, it's like it wasn't bound by any laws of physics that we have.
Yep, and then we're gonna find that mutants are real. If you look at Gary Nolan is a Stanford professor. He has an MRI test that 1 out of 200 people, 1 out of 300 people have this enlargement in the basal ganglia, which is the part of the brain that controls your motor motion as well as your intuition. In other words, your spider sense or access to the quantum realm, where I believe the quantum realm is where we're controlling our bodies. We're controlling our bodies from the quantum realm, and our bodies, our brain in particular, it has magnetite and other materials that make electricity. And
Mhm.
electricity is a key to get to the quantum realm, because there's something called nuclear electric resonance that someone uncovered this year. It's actually real physics things. There's also something called assembly theory that you might want to look up, by Sarah Walker and I think Lee Cronin. Where assembly theory is this, Roberto. I think I told you this already, did I?
I'm not sure.
Assembly theory?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so I'll leave with this. Information is actually the third wing of magic in terms of physics.
Okay.
Physics is incomplete. There's matter, there's energy, and there's information. Information comes from conscious beings like us. In other words, information is spells. You can cast spells if you know how to actually use thought to change the universe. Because the universe has information coming in from us. There's the internet. And every time we control our body, we're releasing potential energy. We're changing the entropy of the universe. We're either increasing it or decreasing it with the decisions that we make by sending new information to the universe.
Mm-hmm.
That signal goes into our brain from the quantum realm. The quantum realm is outside of this universe. It basically lets you go anywhere in this universe instantly using telepathy. It's a cosmic record. It's basically like when you go to and do mushrooms and PTSD and all that, and all, you do the mushrooms and all that. You go to that realm where you see like machine elves and all that. That's the quantum realm, right? And so in the quantum realm, you control your bodies, and you add information by running the programs from your brain. So your brain, the only thing your brain can do is release a program that's ready to run. Like, for example, you have a breathing program that's running all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that's almost like think of your body as like a computer.
Yeah.
That's like Windows running all the time. But it's up to you to open Microsoft Word, or to open the internet, or to open a game, or to open whatever you want. And that's all you're doing from the quantum realm. You're controlling the keyboard and what programs to run and the choices in your life. And that's also, you represent the computer of the universe. Because Roberto, you might notice that when you look into my face right now, like when you watch a show, it's zoomed in terms of the quantum realm. The quantum realm is like you're zooming into that part of the screen. Because you're zooming into that part of the screen, you're computing more resolution in that part of the screen. And so you add information to the universe, and the resolution of that area is going to actually be computed more. And so there's be more things that are visible from your point of view, from the quantum realm, but also from reality's point of view. When you gaze upon something, you actually add information into that part of the universe. You add data. You unlock potential energy or add potential energy. But that's the idea is you increase or rearrange the molecules, because you're like a worm squirming through space. Okay? And the way you can think about it is this, okay? The Big Bang.
Yep.
The Big Bang you can think about is like you're drawing paper, like your white screen that you're on, Roberto. So Roberto, if you're on your video, you have this white blank screen, but that's light. The first beam of light draws the Planck constant. It draws space. It draws basically reality. It draws the field that's around all of us, which is the Planck constant, basically the field energy of the universe. Right? There's always an energy that's coming. And that's basically your white paper that you're on. That's basically reality. And reality is expanding all the time because light's just going that way all the time. There's more paper all the time being drawn. But who fills in the paper? Worms. The worms draw on the paper. And so when we move around the universe, we're moving on that paper. And we're drawing in that paper. And we're drawing our reality on that paper. And that reality is not white. It's a different color. It's what we bring to it. We paint the universe with our thoughts, with our motion, with our decisions of where to move, and without us, the universe cannot exist. The universe would just be a blank piece of paper.
Just leave it at
that. That's
that.
the theory. That is the physics theory that I have, that information is key to the universe. In fact, information created the universe. The universe, actually, I have a new kind of nuanced way to kind of, you can explain it this way, right? With physics, you always have to start with an assumption, the first idea. So the first idea, and we'll do a physics episode at some point, is that free will is fundamental. Free will then creates time. Because when you make a choice, you create a timeline. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that.
Yeah. Like a hollow string
So
theory
basically,
and the multiverse
if you look at
and everything.
physics, it also creates time, but something I just found out, I just thought about this week. This is cutting edge stuff that I just thought of. Free will also creates evolution. Okay? Because when you decide to do something, you evolve. Because if you don't decide between A and B, a tie, and then learn from it, you don't evolve. So the concept of memory and the concept, right, of evolution is bound by the concept of free will.
Well, there's need as well, though.
Free will create time, create evolution, right? And that's why we're here today. Without evolution, without time, it's synonymous. It's free will. They're all the same thing. Without free will, there's no evolution. Without evolution, there's no time. Without time, there's no free will. They're all the same thing. They're all equal.
But I don't think it's like free will more than as a need. Like you have a need that brings evolution. Like you have to fulfill this.
What's the definition of free will, Roberto? The definition of free will is
Just
when
do
you have to
whatever
choose
you want,
between A and
basically.
B, you choose the thing that's better for you long run. Evolutionary.
Not necessarily, though. You just
Not
choose.
necessarily. That's why free will is not necessarily the same thing every time. It has also with a nuance of randomness and gut and feel
Yeah.
and memory in the quantum realm. Right? So when you have memory, let's say I do something and there's a bunch of lemons. You know what
Yeah.
lemons are?
Heard of them,
lemons
yeah.
are like magical creatures that follow the person, the creature in front of them, and they'll just jump off the cliff.
Yes.
So you're saying, yeah, not necessarily. Well, evolution says follow the lemon in front of you. You've been trained to do that. But that one lemon who thinks, hey, evolutionarily, that's probably not the best to follow that lemon in front of me. Let's go a little bit left when you go off this cliff here, right? That's free will. That free will to go and not do what the crowd says, that's evolution. That's also time. Because if you don't have that concept, you just have an infinite loop forever. So the universe is going to have an infinite loop forever unless free will breaks it out of the loop.
Yeah, but there's a motivation to that free will. I mean, it just doesn't just happen.
But the motivation is to get better over the long run, to have the loop be bigger.
It comes up to a need. Like you need to be better.
Well, the whole point of that lemon leaving that group is to expand the horizons of the group evolutionarily. Right? So that single lemon, because of free will, broke away from the typical motion. And that's basically also, free will is also the decryption algorithm of the universe. Okay, so let's say you have, in computer science, there's something called the halting problem. The halting problem is like, in other words, do you make the same mistakes over and over again, Roberto? Sometimes people make the same mistakes over and
Not
over again.
over
right?
and over again, but I like.
Sometimes, right? Sometimes people do, right? Sometimes you get like a loop, and sometimes you need a friend to kind of talk to you and say, "Hey, dude, you stop doing that. That's not so good. Like, it's not good for your health. It's not good for your friendships with other people. Maybe you should stop doing that." And then you have the free will to decide to accept that advice, right? And so the free will gives you the ability to evolve, but doesn't necessarily mean you choose that at that moment. It could be later on you choose it, or someone else chooses it, and then that person wins. But the idea is free will, right, gives you also the ability to decrypt an issue, right? So that's an issue where the lemons keep going in a circle, they keep dying, right? They keep dying. They never live longer than, let's say, 100 years. So the humans on Earth, they keep dying and they keep dying. They don't live longer than 100 years. Then all of a sudden, some scientist finds out, hey, you can drink this medication, and now you can live more than 100 years, right? So that's technology. That's decrypting something. Well, I don't want to die. I want to not accept it like everyone else accepts it. I have a free will to try to fight it. And even though no one says that's possible, but then maybe it actually works out. And now that the medication that, David Sinclair, for example, the anti-aging medication I've been taking, maybe it works. Maybe DNA can help us create organs, and we can replace our organs with new ones. So you see what I'm trying to say? So the idea is free will is evolution, is time, is also decryption. But free will is the thing that starts the whole theory. The theory of every physics theory, every geometry theory has to start with one postulate or a couple postulates. For example, in geometry, between 2 points, there's a line, and that's the shortest path. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Then that's the beginning of all geometry. And then from there, you can say, well, that's true that if you have the third point, then it's going to create a triangle always. Is that true?
Yes. Well, unless that.
Now you have two postulates, right? And then from there, you keep going and going. And now if you have a fourth point, then it will form a square or a trapezoid or something like that, but only one of those two. You see that? And then you start to layer rules and rules and rules. But guess what? You start with one rule. 2 points is equal to a line. So you start with free will, creates time, creates space, creates decryption, creates evolution. But it starts with free will. Amazing. Right? But the thing is, the free will to squirm as a worm on the paper. Because you're drawing a timeline. We represent time too. Without us, the universe doesn't have anything to draw. It's just sitting there. It's not interesting at all.
Well, there's nobody to see it or enjoy it. So, of course, everything needs us.
But, Roberto, there's also one more thing I want to leave you. This is a little extra woo-woo.
Man.
You know how energy and matter are conserved?
Yes.
Right?
Transformed.
Information doesn't go away. It's always there. It's conserved too, maybe. And in fact, it's not just conserved, it expands. It evolves. It gets more. And so you know what that means, Roberto? It means you never die. That you basically must reincarnate. Because your soul is information. Your soul can never die. Because the universe will always get more colorful if your soul was in it. If your soul ends there, then that worm dies. It stops drawing. But if that worm now became a bird and now draws by flying around, it reincarnates. And if that bird becomes a human and goes in spaceships, you know, that's reincarnation too. And if that human reincarnates into a god and gardens the galaxy and creates planets in the solar system and other universes, that's what's meant to be, Roberto. We never die. We reincarnate, and we just get more and more complicated, and we actually become the gardeners of the universe. That's our fate as humans. We're passing that threshold where we're becoming adults. We're going to be asked to learn how to be shepherds of the universe. We're going to have powers that we have no idea that we're going to have. We're going to become gods, like Atlantis and the Egyptians and all these myths, the Greek gods, all that. That's happening today, man.
And disappear right after.
It's the beginning. I'm telling you, as a scientist, I'm telling you that's what's happening.
I really want to see it. I want to see how it goes.
You're gonna be. This is happening right now. Everyone here on this planet, if you basically are still on this planet, you had COVID for sure.
Nope.
COVID was how, perhaps, I'm not sure if it's related or not, how you can also get rid of the souls.
I never got it, man.
So maybe there was some meaning behind that. I don't know. I don't want to say anything about that. That's a little bit sensitive there, but there's some suspicion there on my side.
I never got it, and I nothing.
But it doesn't matter. It could be some other reasons. But there are people on this planet, whoever stays here, I think are the highly evolved beings that would benefit from this future society. So you made it, man. You made it to heaven on earth, man. Just keep staying alive as long as you can.
I've been working on it super hard.
Dude, it's heaven on earth right now. It's happening very soon. It's starting to happen to me. It's going to happen to everyone. I'm going to bring it, if I can, to as many people as fast as I can. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Soon. Stay tuned.
Phucsters, hold on. Hang in there. The 15 of you, maybe you can become 45, 50, and then eventually become
soon.
Maybe 100 people.
Everybody, man. It's all information. Use it.
Well, spread the word, guys. And hopefully when we do the Republic, you guys will participate. I'll let you know. We'll do this, hopefully once a week, every 2 weeks. I'm kind of busy, trying to get some stuff done, but let's do more often if we can. Thanks, guys.
See you guys next time. Bye.